Hey guys, welcome back to the Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter board game review. Today's game tabletop is called Alice in Shroomland Spore Cultivation. In Alice in Shroomland Spore Cultivation, you'll be playing as either sativas or indicas. Now, as you can tell, they are types of weed, and the idea of which is you're going to be either trying to save Wonderland or to conquer Wonderland. The game is made by Game Trippers, and this is obviously a pre-release copy, and it is a deck builder of sorts. You're going to get your own Tripper deck, in which you're going to be getting shrooms and pots and all these other kind of things, or jars, I should say, of empty, sad, non-existent weed. And you're going to be trying to stop the bad guys from the forest in a kind of working together cooperative manner, or if you want, you can play in the competitive manner to gain as many points as you can, as opposed to fighting, or to wipe out your opponents, I should say, as opposed to fighting the big, ominous, dark forest guys. I'll be explaining the cooperative variant of the game for right now, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like right now. So here's the setup for Alice in Shroomland Spore Cultivation. As you can see, there are 4 players in the game we'll be playing with: red, yellow, blue, and green. Everybody's going to get their own unique deck, just like any other deck builder. You're also going to get meeples that represent your color, as well as where on the board, the game board, you're going to be placing your meeples. Whenever certain monsters come into these specific areas, you actually get a bonus attack power on them to flip them over or kill them. So after you take your deck, you shuffle your deck, you get your deck of cards. Everybody's going to shuffle their deck, right? And you all have your own unique abilities they can use based on the cards you're going to be drawing. You're also going to have a market deck. So when you play as the sativas, you're going to be fighting the indicas, right? And in the merchandise deck is going to also be your sativas, gear, and merchandise. And in the indica deck, which is the bad guys deck, you're going to get curses, hybrids, and indica. Now, if you're playing vice versa, it would be the exact opposite. All these bad guys would be in the good guys areas, and all the good guys would be in the bad guys areas. You're also going to get a set of ouchie cards. These are cards you're going to put into your deck, and if you ever draw 3 of them, you're going to be in big trouble. And the game works just like a deck builder. You draw 6 cards, you go ahead and play them as best you can to either gain stuff from the market, to gain to either flip over monsters that are hidden going across the board like this, and you can flip them over. Or you can actually destroy them if they're already face up, and you can destroy them for their coin value. And if you don't destroy them, and they end up in this space here, they're going to put ouchies in your deck, and if you draw 3 of these, you're going to go sober, and that's no good. That's the idea of how the game works. We'll go into a couple of how you play the turns and what you can do for your actions. So like I said, on your turn you draw 6 cards from your deck, and you play them. After you're done playing your cards, you're going to then decide to either buy things from the merchandise deck, or flip over bad guys from the field decks. There's 6 fields in total, and if the monsters get to the 6th field at the end, you're going to actually take some ouches, which is not good. So you can flip them over and then kill them for their cost. When you kill monsters, they go into the unfortunately sober pile, which is the remove from game section. And if you buy merchandise, it goes into your discard pile like any other deck builder. After you're done taking all your turns, you discard all your cards to your discard pile. You're going to move all your monsters up 1 space. The monsters up 1 space. If they get to that space, you take all that damage, or put curses into your graveyard if they're on that space, as well as flipping a new monster face down at the first space and moving it progressively forward. All right, let me show you a couple turns of the game. Going forward, to show you how to start a few turns off, we're going to first show you the meeples representing the different types of characters that go on these different pieces, the different boards that are flipped over randomly, except for the ominous dark forest, which is always last. Now, as you can see, the dodo bird is green, and it's represented here on this circle, so I placed the green meeple there. All these meeples, like I said, represent that if you have monsters here, it costs 1 less to either kill them or flip them over. So the first thing we're going to do is draw cards. We'll start with the green player and draw 6 cards, sorry. Draw 6 cards and flip them over. You got an empty jar, we got a magical mushroom, empty jar, this, eat me. All right, and this one says, I may return 1 ouch card from my hand back to my deck. Bounce deck to the ouch deck, which would be great, but we don't have any of that right now. We'll have it later in the game, though. So we got 3 right here, 3 currency. These 3 are useless, so they will get discarded. They don't do anything. And 3 currency will let me buy something, perhaps. I could potentially buy something from here. Nothing, everything costs 4. Oh, here's one right here, gear. I gain +1 shroom if the beguiling Alice is my tripper or in my hand. I'm going to save that for my friend here because she's actually got the beguiling Alice, so we'll leave that there. There's no monsters yet, but after the shopping spree is done, which there's nothing to do right now, luckily, which is okay though, it doesn't matter, the enemy monsters will start coming out. This is the onslaught here. This is actually the bad guy. We know this to be the bad guy, and he is the mushroom leader, and he'll get to the end here. And when he does, bad things start happening. But we're trying to kill him. That's the game. So she discards all the cards in her hand, and we start with the next player. Draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're definitely going to spend our 4 and buy the spike boots because that gives us a bonus for her, which is great. However, because we didn't spend it to flip this monster or do anything to this monster, it's just going to move down the track here. So this guy goes right down here like that, and we're going to put in another monster just like that. And they're going to keep going across the board. And we don't know what they do. We know this one is nasty, but we don't know what this one is. It might not be so bad. And we want to kill it because otherwise we're going to get ouches in our hand. So we're going to go ahead and draw the next character. It's going to go 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we'll replace this card from the deck, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How much money we got here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I may discard all ouches in my hand or make a teammate no longer be a bit sober. And this one says I may play the top card of the market deck and put it back. Oh, that's awesome. So we flip over the top of the market deck. What does it say? It gives me +1, and the next curse I flip over this turn costs 0. So that's fine. It's just gonna be 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's great. What can I buy over here? There's tons of things to buy. Now I got 6 currency. What's this one do? It says I can flip over 1 dimension. Or instead I can flip over these 2, which I'm going to do. That costs 2, 4, and I have 2 left over, but I can't buy anything. That's fine. Now I know what these guys cost. So if I wanted to, on my next turn, on his next turn, if he had 8, he could flip this over, or not flip this, sorry, he can pay 8 and remove it. It would go to this sober pile, which is basically a removed from the game pile. And it stops us from having to deal with them. Because eventually monsters are going to be coming across the board, right? And we're going to be trying to flip them over. And once we flip them over, we know what they are. Some of them are weaker than others. These are 2, these are 4s. Easy to kill, right? This one's harder. But as they get across the board at the end of your turn, if you do not kill them, they're going to go to the pile. But not only that, you're also going to take an ouch, and it'll go into your discard pile, and it'll be added to your deck as though you're playing. Not only that, but this guy here, this big boss, he stays here. So every turn, everyone is always guaranteed an ouchie until he's destroyed, because that's the idea of winning the game. Once you can destroy this guy for 15, you're the winner. Also, whenever you're going to replace these cards as you play them, right? So it's really important that you try and save up as much as you possibly can. So you have an idea of how to play the game for the most part. You're trying to kill that big monster, right? But what about monsters that go to the unfortunately sober pile from the board? Well, actually, there are different merchandise cards that you're going to be able to get that when you kill these monsters on your turn, you can actually take them and put them into your pile, provided that your discard pile, provided that you played that specific card. That's very useful, especially since all of the trippers have different abilities, and some cards let you use the tripper abilities. For instance, the Duchess says that has Necromancy. I'm going to purchase 1 unfortunately sober enemy and add it to my discard pile. That's awesome. That's a great one right there. And there's other ones that do stuff like that. But the game is pretty much straightforward. It's just going to go across the board. Things are going to hit that end pile there, and if they get there, you get an ouch. You draw 3 ouches, you're sober, which means you're out of the game. And you can't come back until one of your your allies basically lets you by playing one of their cards. And if they don't, you're kind of just stuck there. So you have to be very aware of that you have to try and manage your ouchies by playing cards that remove them from your hand, or so that you don't actually have to get them, or by destroying the monsters so they don't get to the end there and make you draw those ouchies. Eventually the game's going to progress to the point where you're not actually going to be able to stop from getting ouchies, because there's just so many things swarming on you. And you're also going to be drawing so many ouchies that you might end up just straight up losing along with everybody else. So it always comes down really close. But that's the idea of the game Alice in Shroomland Spore Cultivation. Let me tell you what I think about it. Alright, so Alice in Shroomland Spore Cultivation. Well, what do I got to say about this game? The first thing I can say is the theme. Yes, that's the first thing you're going to think of, is the drugs and the liquor and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't like that, move on. This is definitely not the game for you. I don't even know why you'd bother to click on the thing. I'm pretty sure you got the idea. This is about shrooms, pot, and drinking. All right? And that being said, the game itself plays as a really nice deck builder. You have the ouch deck, which is going to be taking damage from the monsters as they go across the field. There's a big boss that is always going to start first and going to go into the last card and start doing damage every turn. The game's going to get progressively harder while you're drawing your 6 cards and trying to buy as many things as you can to benefit your team. You're trying to help players by removing ouchies from them, by playing cards or drawing cards from the merchant deck, flipping over bad guys that are going to be flipping onto the field face down, and you're not going to know what they are. Sometimes you're going to get small ones like 4s. Other times you're going to get huge ones like 12s. And either way, you're going to want to decide, is it worth me destroying this guy, or is it worth letting it go through and taking the ouch for the team almost. Sometimes you want somebody to actually tank this boss, in which case somebody else has the really strong deck, and I find that that works really well as far as strategy goes. There's also going to be curses you're going to have to deal with. And curses have a wide range of nasty things that happen. Most of the bad guys will go into the discard or the unfortunately sober pile, whereas other curses will go to your discard pile, and really bad things happen. This one says you have to discard an ouch to the discard pile, which is pretty good for a curse. Other ones, let's see if I can find one that's really bad. There are some that are awful. I must flip one face down enemy face down and add it to my discard pile if it is a curse. Okay, so there are some kind of nasty ones in the deck. The art's good. If you like the style art, I love Alice in Wonderland art, and I think this game works really well for that. You get the feeling of the Mad Hatter and the Alice and all that, and they're all kind of in this druggy little universe, trying to stay unsober as long as possible to continue playing the game, but once you go sober, you no longer feel like you're Alice in Shroomland playing Spore Cultivation anymore. A fun game, a cool little deck builder. A couple things I would have liked to have added was when you fight the monsters, they don't always go to the unfortunately sober pile, and they actually go into your discard pile instead. However, there is cards in the merchant deck that you can do that with. It's just a little more difficult with a lot of combinations to add. You can potentially do that, and a lot of the tripper cards that have a lot of the abilities on them will let you have things like maybe this guy needs more mischievous mushrooms in the discard pile, and it'll give you bonuses when you have those there. And otherwise, a fun but very, very difficult game in a lot of aspects, and if you wait too long, you're definitely not going to win this game. What do I give it? I would say it's going to work. I'm going to definitely play it as a deck builder, and when I want somebody to get into a very light and fun game, this is definitely going to be one of those type of games for deck builders are concerned. Like I said, a couple of the things are the theme, as well as the difficulty, I think, would be another one. But the way to play the game is fairly simple. It's you can understand it fairly easily, and you get a good idea of how to play the game in a reasonable amount of time. A solid deck builder, Alice in Shroomland, Spore Cultivation. Alright guys, thanks for watching another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter board game review. If you like this game, you want to see more games like it, go ahead and check out the rest of our videos here on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and comment. Everything helps, and we greatly appreciate it. As well as checking out Alice in Shroomland, currently on Kickstarter. If not, it'll be very shortly on Kickstarter. A fun little deck builder, very simple, but like I said, notice, yes, drugs, we get it, right? Also, go ahead and check out my website, unfilteredgamer.com. We got tons of live posts, we got Kickstarter lists, giveaways, even blog posts. You can go check it all out if you want. As well as checking out our affiliated or sponsored sites, everythingboardgames.com, The Giveaway Geek, and devatosgaming.com. Another shout out from my good friend Ferdinand, the cardboard stacker, going on his 4th year of reviewing games. Congratulations to him. He's got a great giveaway going on. I'll probably link it over here so you guys can see it. He's giving away 33 games with places like Level 99, Solar Flare games, and a couple other ones. They're just donating games so you guys can get them. They're on my site right now on the giveaways page, as well as his site, thecardboardstacker.com. Go ahead and check those out as well. Alright guys, well that's it for this video, and once again, we look forward to seeing you next time.